believe in you. I believe. $149 more. It is screaming up there. You guys are smooshing that subscribe button. Thank you so much. 138, 137, 136. It's slowly trickling as it updates live. It's hard to believe we will have been at it for 16, is that 16 hours? 12 to 12 plus 4. Yeah, 16 hours. We've been out for 16 hours of coverage. That's incredible. We are 112 subscribers away. We froze it to
had the chance at this point to get out there, assess damage, and address any serious issues with down power lines, down trees, and flooded streets. So we're hearing reports of all of those things right now. In fact, we have down trees, 2 big ones on Kennedy Boulevard near the University of Tampa that West Chase, where a storm knocked down trees and even lifted up parts of the sidewalk. So there are a lot of down trees and large limbs. Of course, not only do we know scattered around in places because of those heavy winds and also spot flooding that we're seeing in certain locations. So again, officials stressing that this is not the time to go out and explore. They really want everybody to wait for the all clear and certainly to wait for daylight. And remember, if you do come to an intersection where the power is out for that intersection, whether it looks like this one completely dark or whether it's flashing red and yellow, you need to treat that as a 4-way stop. Guys.
Yes. This is when patience is key once you do get out on the roads.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those lights will not be working.
And a lot of people will try to take advantage of the situation and just go.
Yeah.
What's going to happen over the next several hours is reports are just going to start to trickle in of some of the damage. I just got another one like 30 seconds ago. We get reports of a roof of a Bank of America building ripped off in Bradenton.
Okay.
Which would make sense because they're closest to where the center was.
Yeah.
These are the types of reports that are going to start to trickle in as the emergency officials sort of fan out and see what's happening.
So if it could do that to the roof in St. Petersburg at the Trop, and that's not even where the storm made landfall.
And this isn't even counting individual homes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Gusts were reported, you said, what, Sarasota, 102 miles per hour, 101 in St. Pete.
I think 106 might be the one, the biggest we've gotten so far, down closer to Anna Maria Island. But again, the problem when you start to get that hot power is going out, sensors are going out, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get all of these exact wind reports in. But right now, the highest we got about 106 miles per hour, and that's going to do damage anywhere.
Yeah.
And we haven't had those types of winds since I've been here anyway, and I've been here for 20 years. So we've had these little hurricane force wind gusts from time to time, but never like a solid 100-mile-per-hour wind. So folks, when the sun comes up, you are probably going to be like, wow, because there's going to be not only a lot of wind damage, but water damage.
Yeah.
We got waist-deep water reports in Plant City, waist-deep water reports over in parts of Pinellas County. So it stands to reason that in between got just as much rain. There's going to be other areas that are underwater too. And it's freshwater flooding. North of the center, this is all freshwater flooding, rainwater. To the south is where the storm surge was. But between about Fort Myers, Naples area, and then coming up toward Anna Maria Island, we don't have a lot of gauges there. So we don't know yet. And the Weather Service is working on trying to get those numbers for us. I know I'd love to tell you this was the exact storm surge number. Nobody's got that number yet. But I can tell you if it was close to 6 feet down in Fort Myers, it's going to be much, much higher where the center was. So let me show you what's happening real quick outside. 4:04. Hey, we made it to the actual start of Good Day. We're actually the real start of Good Day. Anyway.
To just be mindful of if you plan on heading out and assessing the damage yourself. The trop, quite a sight. I know that we've been showing you that video since we've gotten it in from witnesses, people that were hunkered down in apartments, watching the panels just rip off one by one. I know it was like half at first, and now when you look at the most recent video coming out there on social media, it's basically all gone. Good news is 13 people were inside. They were not hurt. The trop was going to be used as a stationary setup for first responders who were coming in after Milton came through. So thankfully, there were not a lot of people there. Everybody who was inside is accounted for. And it did take a long time for first responders to get there. I mean, as we were going to bed and the conditions were getting worse around 8, 9 o'clock, Sheriff Bob Gualtieri basically said that his deputies needed to stay hunkered down down at that point in time because it was just becoming incredibly unsafe for them to be out on the roads. They've had 2,000 911 calls since midnight, or I should say that was the last number they had at midnight. So that was flooding, structural fires, transformer fires, fire alarms going off. And then you also had quite a sight seeing that crane come down in downtown St. Pete. So that was one of, I believe, 4 locations that the city had warned people about yesterday. Lots of development, lots of construction happening down there. You think about how massive these cranes are, how high up they are. It takes crews about a week to secure them. And we really learned about Milton in just a matter of a couple of days. So they said, hey, we didn't have time to secure this as best as we could, and it came down. You could tell it smashed through part of a building. It is truly incredible, and I'm so happy to report that nobody was injured, but first responders are asking people to avoid the area. We've heard things on social media saying it's obviously smoky down there. It is a mess. There is glass and debris everywhere. We've heard reports of it smelling like gasoline, so you really, really need to avoid that area and let first responders do their thing. I also want to talk about water because that is a huge concern for the residents of St. Pete. Yesterday, I was previewing whether or not St. Pete Mayor Ken Welch was going to make a decision about shutting down 2 out of 3 sewage plants. He did make that decision around 7 o'clock last night, or I should say in the afternoon, and it was effective 7 o'clock last night. So people were really not going to be able to flush the toilets for a while, take a shower. And then you had a water main break in Pinellas County. So because of that, they also issued a boil water advisory. So water that you use to brush your teeth, drinking water, preferably use bottled water or at least put it on a pot, boil it. But that is the latest out of Pinellas County. Obviously a very fluid situation. I've been in touch with the communications team here. Oh, also can mention as well, very scary situation. HCA Florida Largo Hospital, which is not too far from us, flooding in the basement. That's what they're dealing with right now. 230 patients impacted. Obviously these people are there because they have a medical emergency that they're getting treated. So you've got oxygen machines, all sorts of equipment. So we do know that they were developing an evacuation plan to get those folks out of there.
There's a lot going on in Pinellas County, that is for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then once daylight breaks, we'll definitely try to show you around and see what really happened here. The trop and the crane overnight is quite a way to get started.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it could have been worse, but it is quite a sight to see. Regina Gonzalez, live for us this morning in Pinellas County. We'll talk to you later on. Thank you. Let's get a view of southern Pinellas County. This is a traffic camera from 54th Avenue South at the Pinellas Bayway. It's not far from St. Pete Beach. Look at the camera bouncing around. Rain bands coming through. The best part about this video is that we see no people on this video. Look how dangerous that is, the wind blowing. More video from downtown St. Pete. This is what they mean when they say extreme wind warning. You see the gusts whipping the rain around on the street, the traffic light poles on the left, bouncing around in the wind, garbage cans knocked over, tree debris down on the streets. Thank you, Greg Thompson, for sending in this video. This is brand new video from downtown St. Pete along MLK Street North. The trees whipping around. Thankfully, a lot of trees in our area, not all, but a lot of trees are bending, not breaking under these extreme conditions.
This is the 4th time that we've evacuated here, and these people, they're wonderful.
In Pasco County, people took Milton seriously, and they got up and took off. Bill Rogers lives in a flood zone and is still getting over the damage Helene did to his home. He says they had to replace some flooring, they had to replace the AC. So Bill wasn't about to take a wait-and-see attitude with Milton, and reports seem to suggest so many others did as well. They rode out the storm in shelters. Oh, the animals. These poor things don't know what's going on. All right, roughly 2 million people across the state of Florida lost power due to Milton, and that's going to be a problem we might have to live with for a while. We'll take a look at some of Milton's other side effects. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
Ah! We got baseballs coming down right now, guys. Baseballs. Oh my gosh. Oh. That thing go. Multiple vortex, violent tornado on the ground right now, guys. Violent multi-vortex on the ground right now. Look at this thing rip. This is a violent tornado, guys. Vince, either floor it or back up. You need to get out of there.
Roger that. Advise me if I'm going to hit anything. Be my eyes, please. Be my eyes. Back the
Powerful tornado. Look at this thing. Look at this tornado go. Look at it. Wow. Look at that thing ripping the field over there, guys. That thing is powerful.